Last but not least, we need to add in the reset or restart button. So there should be a button that we can click and it will pick a new random word. It will reset the list that we've guessed and the number of incorrect guesses. So clean slate. So we can start by just adding a simple button in. So at the end, let's do a button and it should say restart. And we'll worry about styling it, and I'll do a little styling in a video after this if you care about styling. So let's not do a class name, and let's do our on click. We know we need to call some event handler. Let's call it this.reset or restart. Now that doesn't exist yet. So we have two choices. Do we bind first or do we define it? Let's define it. So I'll come up, where's a good place to put it? I'm gonna put it up top. The rest of these are sort of involved in the display and render, so I like to group them together. It doesn't actually matter at all where we put this. So we'll call reset. And for now, I'm going to start by binding it. This.reset equals this.reset.bind this. Okay, now inside of reset, we have a couple things we want to set. We need to change the word itself, the answer. It needs to be a new random word. We need to change the number of wrong guesses. We need to set it back to 0. And we need to make guessed, the set, go back to being an empty new set. So we can actually just take this, except instead of doing this.state and redeclaring this.state equals, we're not really supposed to do that ever, aside from in the constructor. Instead, we need to do this.setState. And none of this depends on the old state, so we don't really need to use the callback. Instead, we just pass in n wrong goes back to 0. Guessed is now an empty set. So that means the user hasn't guessed anything. And answer is going to be a random word again. Let's try it out. Fingers crossed. All right, we have this very gross button. This styling is coming from the CSS that I wrote. I did not think ahead to adding in this button, so don't worry about it for now. When I click on it, oh, well, that's dumb. I shouldn't have clicked on it right then. We won't see the change. All right, so I don't know what the word is here. Let's just get some random things. Okay. Okay, let's say I give up and I want to reset. Click it. It looks like it worked. Let's check our state here and just make sure everything we needed to change has indeed changed. So our image reset to the beginning. That's good because our number wrong reset to 0. Our guessed set is empty, and the answer is now green. All right, so it seems like it's working. Let's try adding some more in, just make sure. All right, we hit the end, game over. Our restart button is still there. As ugly as it looks, it's still there. I can click and I can play again. Okay, so that's it for the basics of the exercise. I'll do a little styling after this, and we can talk about displaying you win. It's not any more challenging than the stuff we've done so far. All right, that's it.